it's cracked me open to this diving deep into actually how reality is created and looking at quantum physics and all the energetics of it, and just really learning to master and understand what is going on so I can game the system. That's the whole thing. Like, how does it work? Let me fucking work it, because that's really what I care about.
If you believe that life is a game, everybody wants to win a game. You want to have fun playing. You want to strategically understand the rules and the hacks and the shortcuts and like how to gain an advantage. Since Roxy, you are the person who wants everything recorded so that we don't miss any of the magic. And I'm with you. I really want my podcast interviews to start like Joe Rogan ones, where you just feel like you're coming into a random conversation, not like the formalities of introducing.
Yeah, it reminds me of Bret Easton Ellis, because he will start his books like in mid-sentence and then end them mid-sentence as well. It's almost like you're just happening upon this like story that's occurring without you. You're like watching it go down.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think it really plays on the part of our brain that's like curious. And it reminds me of all the Instagram experts who are like, oh, if you want people to watch your reels longer, just start doing something. Because like people can't scroll past you like with your lipstick half on. Like they have to watch you finish. And it's like the most bizarre thing, but there really is something to it with human psychology where we're like, oh, we don't like things that aren't tied up and completed. And so then we're curious and we lean in and we want to hang out and stay for it.
Totally. I love it. That's like when we got on and I was like, oh my God, I didn't have my lipstick on. I just had my lip liner. I'm like, this is not acceptable. We need to finish the job before we move forward.
Unacceptable. Yeah. And for anyone who's watching on Spotify or YouTube where you can see the video, Roxy has a whole vibe. I've been to her house, so I've seen it in person, but it is one of the things that I love about you. And I think a lot of true artists are like this, where it's like there's a standard around the aesthetic that is non-negotiable.
Yes, 100%. You know what? I'm a Virgo. My Venus is in Virgo, and I'm convinced like I have this obsession with beauty and aesthetics and things. Like I enjoy beauty. I love music. I just like beautiful things. And so for me, I had this realization. Okay, so forgive me, no shade to anybody out here, but I feel like a lot of people, and women especially, oh, there's my cat. No bath time. Okay, no bath time. Come sit here. Okay. Oh God, I'm scared. Okay, sorry. I don't want to get attacked on the television. I feel like when people come together as couples, or like when maybe women like get married, something happens where everything turns beige. And I don't know if you can tell, but if it's beige, It's got to be like a leopard print. So there was this moment when my husband and I were coming together, and I was like, man, I just want to live in a pink house, and I hate that everything has to be brown and beige and blah, blah, blah. And he's, I'll live in a pink house. And I was like, really?
Aww.
And he's, yeah, I don't fucking care. He's, as long as it looks good, I don't care what color it is. Because he's also he's artistic and very anal, and he's the one who does all the decorating. So I pick the stuff, I pick like the themes and the colors and the things, and then he arranges them because he's a really good eye. And then he's also extremely neat and tidy. Like you guys were saying, we have nothing on our kitchen countertops. And he's just, it's easy to clean. There's nothing in the way. He just likes things very neat and precise in their own place. And I really like clean and tidy and aesthetic and beauty. So it just really works for the both of us. When I get to express myself, amazing. We're both artists, and we have our art all over the place, and to live in it, you're immersed in it. Like this set isn't just my set. This is just a room in my house, and it all has this vibe, and this is who I am. And I don't, life is too short to live in ugliness or drabness or blahness or mediocre. And I just feel like you have one life, one opportunity to do what you're doing in the world. And you might as well just do you to the utmost maximum potential, because that's how you're going to get the most out of this life. And like for me, I just want every moment to be as Roxy as possible.
Yeah. And it really is so embodied in you. It's like, it's outwardly expressed in your home, right? But the outer is always just a match for the inner. And so I would love for you to just riff more on what happened first with the inner expression of being like the most Roxy version of yourself.
I will say I've always been very unique and different. I think part of it came from my upbringing, because my cousin and I were very similar or close in age. We were raised like sisters, and we went to the same school and everything. And she was literally like the most popular girl, and I was like her big, dumb, dopey cousin. That was literally like how I felt my whole childhood. And sometimes I would get invited to go hang out with the cool kids, and I would always say something or do something to mess it up, and then I like wouldn't get invited for like months and months again. And then finally, oh, maybe Roxy can come or whatever, and then I would just do something stupid or embarrass myself or say the wrong thing. Come to find out, I'm ADHD, so like blurting random things out is like kind of part of the deal. But I ended up just becoming like feeling like such a weirdo and like such an outcast, but also I like myself and I like what I like. And the reason my whole house is pink and all this stuff, because I like these things. There's a reason why all my Barbies for my whole life are on display, because I fucking love them and I want to look at them. And I like the things I like and I like the weirdness about me. And so there was always this battle of, do I like try to fit into whoever they want me to be or what's going to be popular or acceptable, or do I just lean into the stuff that I actually care about and actually enjoy, that actually makes me happy? And so now I'm, I guess, maybe in like my mid-20s or early 20s, I started just saying, fuck it, this is who I am, and leaning more into it. And that's when I started getting tattooed and I started modeling and just leaning into, I'm just going to do what I want to do. And I've always been like that. I'm a musician, I'm an artist, so I've always been on the fringes, like I said, of society. I'm no stranger to not fitting in with people. And so for me, expressing myself, as that's the reason I've ostracized myself, so I better, like, what else am I going to do? Like, I might as well just, again, just keep being me. And I just turned 40 at the end of last year. And so I'm a lot of contemplation that comes with that number. And I'm just at this point where I'm 40 and I'm still this person and I still love the things I love and they make me really happy. And who's going to stop me from liking Hello Kitty and like literally going to the store and buying Barbies for myself? Like, I'm the adult that's, I'll get that one and that one and that one because I can. And I'm just like walking out of there with all this childish stuff, or making my entire house pink and neon and walking around in the most ridiculous getup sometimes, because I just feel that's just me and I want to be that every moment of the day. I don't want to be what other people are doing. It's not interesting to me. Yeah. Never has been.
Yeah. No, I love that so much. And it's like when we go from seeking other people's approval to being like, wait a second, I approve of me. Yeah. So who else's approval do I need? Mm-hmm. And it's such a shift, because like when we're little kids, we actually do need the approval of other people, because our survival depends on it. It's sad that there's no conscious initiation that happens where, as part of growing up and part of becoming a woman or becoming a man, that family systems don't talk about that and help make that transition. And so instead, you still have a lot of people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond that are still seeking external validation and are still people pleasing and are still looking for the approval of others. But those of us who have been lucky enough to like stumble on the keys to the castle and learn to free ourselves, it's like the best.
Yes.
And the funny thing that always happens is it's like as soon as you stop needing other people's approval, like you get more of it. It's like this bizarre thing where it's, oh, I like me and I don't need you to like me. And from that energy, the environment reflects, we like you.
Yeah. Because what is more attractive than somebody that loves themselves and is just like, this is me, take it or leave it by. There's something so magnetic about it. And I always gravitate towards people who just like, I like other weirdos too, obviously, because it makes me feel at home. But I just love people who are just so them. You're just so you. You're sold on it. You're not trying to be anybody else. There's not this level of uncomfortability of you don't know who you are, or like I can't be myself around you. And that's what makes those people so amazing, is because they're so comfortable being them that you feel comfortable being you. And it's not like you have to match them in any way. It's more of an allowance of like, well, this is me. Hey, by the way, nice to meet you. Nice to meet the real you. This is the real me. And that freedom to just be yourself and not worry about being judged. And even if you do, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Punch me? What are you going to... Literally, when you, as a child, it's scary, right? We talked about it's survival. And sometimes you literally do get punched. You do get beat up. People will actually physically harm you because they don't like your fucking jeans or something. But as an adult, those things fall away and you come to realize, okay, no one's going to take my business away. Who? How? What are they going to do? Who's going to... What do you mean? How are they going to do it? Are they going to take the internet away? Are they going to come through and take down all of my carts on Kajabi? Are they going to come kill me? Fine. Get me out of my misery. Fine, I'll go. I'm ready for a vacation. Fine, okay. But beyond that, what are they going to do? Jimmy down the street isn't going to come punch you in the face. No one's going to tell you that you can't come to the sleepover. There's no consequence for that anymore. And I think we just live in this like condition of fear and what's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. You're going to be happier. And you're going to attract people that are on a vibrational match to your authenticity and not a vibrational match to your fake and your mask.
For those who don't know you, like you're an absolute expert on manifestation, and I would love for you to just share like how you got into that work.
I had a crazy year in 2011. My cousin that I was talking about, that was like my sister, she passed away. She was 28. I was 27. And I was an atheist. So I was a hardcore atheist my whole life. And even though my dad is very spiritual, my dad is psychic, I still somehow decided that there was nothing beyond what I could see. And I was like, if I can't see it, touch it, feel it, taste it, it's not real. And I don't want to fucking talk about it. If it's not this concrete, it's not here. Bye. You know what I mean? So I just had no space, no room for anything that was outside of what I thought was physical and real. And so then in 2011, when my cousin passed away, it was like either she's gone forever or you need to open up to potential and maybe there's more. And I was watching content that was also blowing my mind. It sounds funny to say, but like Ancient Aliens also helped me expand past it, because then I started to see religion as, what if that was actually just ancient civilizations? And that, me as a logical person, I was like, okay, I'm open to this. So now my wheels started turning that maybe there was more. So it was 3 things that happened in 2011. One of them was the Ancient Aliens thing, my cousin passing away. And then at the end of the year, I ended up manifesting a specific person. And the experience was so mind-blowing that I was just like mind fucked of, did I make that happen or did I predict it? Did I make it happen? Did I predict it over and over? So that all those 3 things sent me down this rabbit hole of what the fuck's going on. And then I found out, I was led to the secret not too long after that. I was actually found out on my birthday. And then soon after that was 11/11. It was just like all these things happened. I met somebody in my life that I was involved with a really long time musically. And then also I felt like it got me under the gate for 2012. Because if that thing was real, I would not have been a part of the ascension, because you couldn't tell me anything about, I was like, these people are crazy. Like, I just was not having it.
Yeah.
So that whole transformation of 2011, I read The Secret, blew my mind apart, because they're like, if you've ever experienced anything like this, then it's already real. And I had that situation where I'd manifested that person that I couldn't explain. So I was like, this has to be real, because I just experienced this thing. So there was no resistance to me believing in it, because I had the experience not too long before that. So then from 2011 on, I have literally just been studying and trying to figure it out and master it. And in 2019, I got just fed up with piecing life together and not doing my business. And I had been on YouTube trying to help people share this information, because nobody in my life wanted to hear it from me. Everybody was just like, meh, whatever. Just nobody cared. So I was like, fine, I'll go on YouTube where people are actually looking for this information. I started my YouTube channel, and then a year and a half later, I started my business, coaching people on it, because I just became really good at understanding. And because I have the part of my brain that's like, I need to understand the logic of this. I know this is happening on Earth. If it's happening once for some people, then it has to happen all the time for every people. There can't just be this sometimes blah, blah, blah thing. So it's cracked me open to this, diving deep into actually how reality is created and looking at quantum physics and all the energetics of it, and just really learning to master and understand what is going on so I can game the system. That's the whole thing. Like, how does it work? Let me fucking work it, because that's really what I care about.
If you believe that life is a game, everybody wants to win a game. You want to have fun playing. You want to strategically understand the rules and the hacks and the shortcuts and like how to gain an advantage. And why wouldn't you? Especially, I believe like we came because we wanted this human experience, and we wanted to feel like what it was like to be in co-creation, as Abraham Hicks says, be on the leading edge of manifestation and co-creation. And so it's, if that's what we're here for, then no wonder we suffer when we're playing it small and when we're not getting what we want. Not in the way of a little kid being like, I don't get what I want, but more, this isn't what I'm here for. I'm here to figure out how to have these experiences and how to get what I want, not just materialistically, but experientially. And so it can feel really dry and unfulfilling when we don't understand the game of life and how to play it. So I love that you use that terminology, and that's been like your, I don't want to say your soul passion, because you're very like multi-passionate, multi-talented, but like that's been a really like singular focus of attention.
And it is part of my mission. I am multi-focused, like you said, because I have a personal mission and I have an outward mission, which I'm sure that's not rare. But as far as my outward mission, it is definitely made very clear to me that I'm here to, for one, spread this information, let people know that they have this power, how to utilize it. But also I'm here to literally help shift the ratio of good vibe to bad, honestly. And they've shown me quite a few times. So I do deep meditations every single day. I have these ridiculously epic meditations every single day. It's a part of the lifestyle that I've unlocked that has actually allowed me to change my life and actually enjoy being alive, to be quite frank, and has literally kept me on the planet. And it's just the best. I just love my meditation practice. It's just the best. I can talk all day about it. But one of the things they show me a lot of times in the meditations is I am here to outweigh some of what is being spread in a not so enjoyable manner for not just everybody on the planet, but out there too, because they're experiencing some sort of repercussions of what we're doing, because we're creating the universe with our experiences and we're expanding the universe, and the all, or the collective that we are all a part of, is experiencing everything that we're all doing on this planet. And even though they're like, they could never it's not like negativity could ever fully take over. It's just, it doesn't work like that. But they're like, it's getting a little too like acidic. There's a little bit too much pee in the pool kind of vibe. Like, we need to put some chlorine. That's like the vibe they're getting, is like, a little too much cream. Let's add some more coffee kind of a vibe. It's just not, no, we're not doing that, and we don't like it.
Yeah.
So part of my mission is just to allow that to spread and wake it up inside of people, because once it's in you, then you can spread it to the people in your surroundings. And it's like neighborhood by neighborhood, borough by borough, one person at a time. Everybody is shifting themselves, which in turn shifts the people around them, and then just creates this ripple effect. And I do truly believe, sorry, I also channel when I'm talking, so they just said something that I wasn't going to say, but they just said it, so I'll just say it also. One of the things that they keep telling me is I'm here to help usher in 10,000 years of peace. And so I keep hearing this message, 10,000 years of peace. Can you forgive me? I'm just going to have to shout this out. This came to me yesterday. They said you need to start calling for the other people who are, they said that you're not the only person who's got this message, and you guys need to come together. So if you're somebody that has gotten the message of 10,000 years of peace, you can DM me on Instagram and let me know, because we are supposed to come together. And so I'm just, they said I have to start.
I love that.
Putting it out. Anyways, yeah.
Yes.
Purpose though, man. Like when you find it, when you can get to that space where you're like, this is why I came here. This is why I came here. Because I've had plenty of moments, soft trigger warning, that I've been like, nah, I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Let's get the fuck out of here. But this idea of meditation and tapping in every day and like really finding that place within myself and then elevating that frequency daily has, I'm not joking, saved my life. It's changed my life. It's saved my life. And it's so life-changing and important that I've dedicated, I will never skip a day of meditation in my life ever again. I don't even know if you know that, but I meditate every single day, and I never will skip ever again. Period. I have ever. It is like a non-negotiable to me forever for the rest of my life, because the difference between who I was or who I can be when I don't meditate and who I am and who I can be when I do is so drastic that it's literally life and death. It's such a huge change. I won't even dip my toes in the pool going into meditation first.
Wow. Did you have to cultivate your channel and your relationship to your guides, or can you just literally sit down and it all comes through?
Now, it took a while. I've always been intuitive. Like I said, my dad is intuitive, so I grew up with the seeing it. Then I closed myself off for a long time. And then in the last few years, I decided I have this psychic that I talk to every month. We've talked about her. And one day I was like, I want to be as psychic as her. And so I just started affirming it and saying that I was psychic. I started putting it in my scripting. And then I would have moments on my live streams. I would do a weekly live stream on YouTube called Mindset Monday. And I would have these moments or in my coaching sessions, in group sessions, where I would say things to people and they're like, oh my God, I just did that today. Like one time, because I always have these analogies come through. They used to call me the queen of analogies. There's all these things coming through all the time, these images. And one time I was on this call and I said something about, because there's the red pepper and then there's the green pepper and you can choose this, but you're choosing this, and she's, I just bought red and green peppers today, or something crazy like that. And so I started realizing that not only were these analogies coming through that were applicable to the stories, but they were like actual images from these people's lives, and they were showing me symbols that, whatever. So I just started affirming more. Oh, I'd be like, oh, I am psychic. And then the people would be like, you are. And so I was affirming it, I'm scripting it, I'm intending it, and then I'm going into meditation every single day, and I'm honing the ability. Like, I can tell the difference between my voice and their voice now, just because I've practiced like closing mine down, and I know where the voice comes. It comes from different places in my head. Like, the voice that drives my body comes from my left ear. They're like, they've shown me like literally a joystick. They're like, we are like driving you. This is my inner guide. And then the like all collective God thing comes out of like, it's not straight up and down, but it's almost up, almost at 90 degrees. And it's weird. And so I can tell where they're coming from. I can tell the difference between my thoughts and things that come from my frame of reference and something that's like, I've never experienced anything like that or had that kind of inkling or heard anything like that. So I know that there's just no way it could have come from me. And I just started validating that didn't come from me. And every day I'm doing my work and I'm hearing these things come through and I'm just saying them. I'm no longer questioning them. The other thing is they won't let me move past it. It's almost like they come in a single line, the channel. So I can't move past the thing in front of me until I say it. So it'll just repeat over and over. That's why I said the 10,000 word until I said it out loud. I have to like get it out. So yeah, you can.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. I think people are always absolutely so curious about like that aspect of the practice. And what would you say if someone's listening to this and they want to be more intentional in their manifestations, right? Because we're all manifesting all the time, like whether we're aware of it or not, right? Everything we have and don't have is a manifestation, but like they want to bring that conscious intentionality to it. What are some of your favorite practices?
Well, like I said, I do meditate every day. I script every single night. And then what I had to do was I had to develop my own method. So it's called the 360 method. It really came from, and this is before I was diagnosed ADHD, so I didn't know, but my thoughts are just like all the fucking time, just bouncing off the walls. Yeah. And I had to learn how to streamline them. And it's actually interesting now that I'm saying that, it's almost just like what I was talking about with my channel, one after the other, single file, choosing the thought, one thought to the next, stringing them along like beads on a string, and choosing the thought that corresponds to the reality that I want to go to all day long. And so I started doing that on repeat, and I developed, so the cornerstones of 360 method are awareness and discipline. So you're paying attention to what you're saying, what you're thinking, how you're feeling, how you're responding, what you're expecting, the story that you're telling. And then that's the awareness portion. The discipline is you're switching it in the moment, and you're switching it in the moment, and you're switching it in the moment, and you're switching it in the moment, because the manifestation is always happening in the now moment. And if you don't switch that frequency, you just stay where you are. And so this like constant 24/7 recalibration, I just started doing it every day, and I turned it into a habit, and I've been doing it for 5 years now. So like manifestation wise, if I want to manifest something, I just throw it in the mix. I already know I'm going to get it because I'm choosing where I go. It's like you can choose where you go as long as you like pay attention to where your foot is fucking stepping. It's just like walking. Just like you can choose where you walk, you choose where you manifest. It's not that hard when you break it down to a granular level. But what takes the focus is making sure you're doing it all day, every day, and not giving up. I see a lot of people who try it for a few weeks. They'll see a lot of change, maybe a few months even. Sometimes people do it for years. And then they come back and they're like, oh, I fell off my 360. I'm like, listen, it's called 360 for a reason, because it's all day, every day in, day out, no thoughts off, no subjects off, no days off. You're always doing this because you're always manifesting, and there's no point at which you can just rest on your laurels, because your laurels got you where you are right now. And not that that's terrible, but you said you wanted something different. So if you want something different, you're going to have to consider a different reality, and you're going to have to do it on repeat, and you're going to have to do it consistently. And every time you start to go back to the old reality, you're going to have to come back to this one if you want to get there. And if you want to stay there, because another thing people do is they'll do the work, get the manifestation, then they give up, manifestation goes away. And then they create this hot and cold back and forth. Well, why don't I always push it away? It doesn't come through full circle. You're not coming through full circle. You're showing up conditionally. You're only showing up and manifesting till you get the thing. And then you're going back to your old ways. But again, your old ways didn't get you the thing. Your old ways got you wanting the thing. So you have the consistency of it is the most important part. That's why I always tell people, I'm like, I've been doing this for 5 years. I can tell you June 1st, 2019, that's the day I started, because I took 30 days to challenge myself to see if I could do it. And it changed my entire life, and I have never gone back since.
I'm curious, like, since you said one of the cornerstones is awareness, how much do you feel like conscious awareness continues to be a part of it? Because I definitely have noticed that disciplining my thoughts over the years, there are a lot of things that are just second nature to me that just happen that I'm probably not even normally aware of unless something makes me think about it. And I'll just give a little example so that we're not like getting too philosophical here. But like I practice pitching with Faye all the time. So we're out in the backyard and we go through this little routine, and we get to the one where she has to throw what's called high heat. And she says, I'm really bad at throwing high heat. It's going to take me a while. And it's like her saying that was nails on a chalkboard to me. And I'm like, Faye, how about I'm working on getting better with the high heat? And she's okay, Mom. But it's like that brought my conscious awareness to it But I don't think there would ever be a thought in my mind that's I'm just really bad at blank. Not because I have awareness on it, but just because I'm reaping the rewards of the past discipline of changing that thought. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I'm curious, do you feel like there's that baseline, but then you're always bringing new conscious awareness so that you're in a continual like upward spiral?
100%. Because the thing about it is, like, you and me, we're the same kind of people. We are going to be evolving for the rest of our lives. And the people, anybody that's listening to a personal development podcast, just know you are the kind of person that is always going to be bettering and evolving yourself. Get over it.
Yeah.
Be fine with this is your life. Like, and actually enjoy it and stand on it, because no shade to those who aren't. But if you're not, like, what kind of person is just out there just like cool with being their regular ass? You don't want to get better. You don't want to improve. You don't want to like find like your truth and like heal and stuff like that. Anyways, just is the constant watching for those things that allows you to discover stuff. Because let's say you are 40, you got 40 years of programming of a day, 60,000 thoughts a day for 40 years.
Yeah.
You're not going to get them all in 2 months of manifesting. You're going to be working on that for the rest of your life. But the upward trend that you were talking about, when you consistently work on staying that level of aware and not letting yourself go there, that becomes its own program. And so this is why it's possible to go longer, and it doesn't become daunting because it gets easier. It becomes a habit. The way you think now, like we were just talking, like with Faye, that thought is so automatic. She could even start saying, this is my best. I'm the best at this. I'm the best in blah, blah, blah at this. This is my best pitch. And ratchet that up to the next level. And then eventually, if she just says that every time, she's going to go to that thought naturally. That will then become the subconscious one that you just go to. And it's due to the constant and consistent work that I was talking about earlier, where if you just give up, you're not going to get to that point, because you're just always going to be doing like that pickup work from the last time. If you go on a diet and you work out for 3 days once a month, you're never going to like consistently reach that point where you're just like a lean muscle machine and just living and existing in that body, because you don't have the consistency that is required for it.
No, I love that so much. And we'll make sure, is 360 open enrollment? Like, can people join anytime? Okay, cool. We'll make sure that's linked in the show notes, because I have a feeling that some people listening are craving like that type of environment and the support and the teaching and the guidance and all of that.
360method.com.
Well,
just say, easy to get.
Perfect.
Get to.
360method.co. There it is. Okay. Since we're on the joyous path to millions, talk to me a little bit about money, like how your money story has changed over time and like what it looks like now.
So it's funny that you asked me what it looks like now, because I literally just decided, I was like, what am I manifesting? Too low. I was like, no, $1 million months. So I'm just like, if we can choose anything and we can get anything. When I think about $1 million months, I'm like, is Roxy Talks doing $12 million a year? That's not that good. Like, no shade, but that's not even enough to breathe on the projects I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be sitting here allowing myself to manifest like semi-realistic jumps. Like, I feel like there's the safe jump or the safe next level, and then there's, what do you really fucking want? What do you really want? And $1 million months is still not even good enough when I really look at it. So I literally just had that in my meditation today. They were like, really, girl? Like, come on, let's go bigger.
You're playing it small even in your manifestations?
Yeah. No. 100%. Yeah, exactly. And because my ideal self, so every day in my meditation, I end it by visiting my ideal self, and I get advice from her, and then I merge with her energy, and I take that on, and then that's like what I go about my day. And then I use the 360 method to stay and recalibrate if I fall out, if I get triggered. Because obviously I get triggered. I'm normal. I have emotions. I have down days. I have anxiety sometimes. But 360 method always, it doesn't matter what it is, it always brings you back and always gets you back to that thing. So it just is what I do. I've been seeing my ideal self come through as this giantess. And she's like large. She's like, you're larger than life. Why are you? And then she shows me down on my like goals. And it's this little tiny island in this middle of this huge sea. And they're like, do you see how minuscule that is? Do you see how that's nothing? That is nothing. And then she goes, you want money? And she reaches down and she pulls out, and she's a giant, right? And I'm sitting on her shoulder, and she pulls all this money out and sprinkles it all. And it's like literally like sprinkles falling on my head, or like leaves, because I'm this tiny thing. And she's got these huge handfuls of money. And I'm like, ah. And she's like, you want this? Come on. This is easy. This is nothing. Like, You are larger than life. You are so much bigger than this. And where my money story is right now, just due to the last 24, 48 hours, is going much bigger. But I will say, I came from a situation where my parents were really young, so they didn't have a lot of money in the beginning. They split up, and I went back and forth between one of my, this is no shade either way, but one of my homes was like extremely stable. And I imagine like what your home is like for your kids. We're just like the school schedule and we're doing that. It's like that kind of a thing. And then the other home was like not. And sometimes we didn't know, like we were sleeping where we were sleeping, and like we lived across the street from an amusement park and a hotel, and just nomad, like literally running in the forest and spending all day in the mountain. Nobody knows where I am. Just wild gypsy life with no security of any sort, and almost not really any money either, very little. And not only was I swinging back and forth, but I was also swinging back and forth from like extreme differences. And what came about from that is like intense fear of loss and need for security, and then like workaholism. So I did it. I'm here. I've manifested this. I've retired my husband for years now. I've been doing all this. My business has been doing this, but there has been a lot of struggle and pain and dealing with this story and maintaining it and the fear. It just so much. It's definitely been my thing. I would say that I notice as a coach, you probably notice this too. If you grow up with love, you don't have a problem finding a partner. If you grow up with money, you don't have a hard time manifesting money. You grow up with self-confidence, you don't have a hard time going after those things. But when you get older, it's that stuff that you weren't really validated in as a child that you struggle with as an adult, obviously. For me, love, confidence, even though I did grow up as the weirdo, I still felt very confident in my body, my parents, or in my humanness. My parents were very supportive and we had a great relationship. So I was able to believe in myself and trust in myself and go after things. But the money story wasn't quite there in my childhood. So I don't know if I'll always be, I may always be working on it, because that's my thing and that's the soil that I was grown in. Whether I'm able to become the tallest tree and reach those heights, that soil, those roots are still anchored in that story. And so it may be something that I'm constantly working on for the rest of my life. And if that's the case, then go me. Congratulations, you're doing it, is the way I look at it. It's not a burden. It's, wow, good job. You're still going. That's amazing. And that's why you're going to. And that's why I have. Like, I was a waitress till I was like 34, 35. And then I was doing sales calls. And then I said, fuck it. I'm doing my own thing and I'm going to figure it out.
That's amazing. And here you are. Yeah. And like, I always say this to my clients too, like the fact that you've struggled with this thing is like what makes you a great coach. Like if you were a parent that was like really struggling with yelling at your child and whatever, like would you want to hire the parenting coach that's like, parenting's easy. I've never had an issue. I don't know what you're talking about. You just be nice to your kids and you just tell them what to do and they do it. And so you're not going to resonate with that person. You resonate with the person who's, I used to get so mad at my kids. I had to lock myself in the room because I was like worried I was going to hurt them. And then I went through this process and I transformed. And now I'm here to teach you. So it's, those of us who have been called to a certain area of life, whether it's love, whether it's body, whether it's money, etc. It's like we are meant to go through all the phases of it so that we are a match for like our clients, and we can like, they resonate with aspects of our story and they're more inspired by like the ascension.
Yeah. And also that is what makes people resonate. You know, it's like, it's not just so they can. It's like, that's the thing that does. And so sometimes I feel like people they're afraid to share personal stuff, which obviously only share what you're comfortable sharing. But throw yourself in there, because you are your number one testimonial. You're your first testimonial, and you're the walking embodiment of your work. And if you are continuing to work on yourself, as you should, if you're a coach, you should always be working on yourself. Then you'll always have a next frontier or a next level understanding to share with your clients. And for me, I don't know if you're like this, but sometimes I'll see my clients do stuff and I'm like, oh, I better get on I can't let them surpass me. I can't let them do better than me. That like gets me on my shit a little bit more. I'm like, oh, no, I'm the coach.
My clients totally inspire me all the time too. And like some of them make more than me too. And I'm like, that's great. Cause I think like we all have our vision. Like some of my clients are like, I want to run $100 million business. And maybe this is my limiting belief, but I'm like, the team that I associate with that in my mind and like the amount of like business operation that happens, it's like, it doesn't interest me right now. And it's maybe I just need to conjure up a version where like that money is true with very little responsibility. But it's like point being, yeah, our clients can totally be kick-ass in many aspects. And it's so nice that it is like that two-way relationship where we inspire them and they inspire us too.
Yeah. I know I set an intention last year. I was like, okay, if I'm on calls, I want to be on calls and I want to be like, I can't believe I'm being paid to have this conversation. I want to feel that. And that's exactly what happened. And I remember I had this one client in particular who has like a bunch of companies and she does this philanthropic work, and we talk about her situation. She was coming to me for love stuff, and then she'd be like, how's your business? What are you doing in your business? And then she'd literally turn half the session into a coaching, and I'm like, this is not my session, this is for you. And she's like, no, but we both need to thrive, and I can't thrive if you're not thriving. We both need to be up there. And so she just offers so much insight, and I'd be sitting there thinking, I cannot believe I'm being paid to have this conversation. And that was the manifestation. Yeah. I set that intention. I want to feel that way. I'd have this conversation. For this woman is paying me. She doesn't even know I would do this for free. But
right,
I mean, like that
right.
kind of idea. Like, that's the kind of conversations that I want to have in my business personally.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. I feel that way regularly, and you've seen it because we hang out in person. These are the conversations I want to be having when I'm hanging out with my friends. And if you have a business idea and you don't fucking tell me about it, like, I'm not going to be happy with you. Like, I want to be the first person that people come to and be like, what do you think? Here's what I'm thinking about. And like, that we get to do that together. And so then getting paid to do that is even better.
Yes. Yes. I don't know if you were telling me that, but also my husband has a business idea that I was like, you should talk to Emily and Jeff about it. He's like, okay.
Yes.
So anyway.
Perfect. See?
Okay, I'll tell.
I love that. Like, it's so fun for us to be those people that people think of, and that we get to have those conversations. Yeah.
Nothing lights me up more than having a conversation with somebody that's either a creative or a business owner, and then them talking about what they're doing and being like, what if you did this? What if you did this? You could do this. Did you know you did? Like, you have this gift. And they're just like, ah! It blows their mind.
Yeah.
I have goosebumps just thinking about it. Those moments are so much fun to me. I love those conversations of just like opening people's minds up and expanding what they think is possible for them. Like, even what you were talking about, like, maybe I have to open to a different version. I'm like, yes, let's talk. Let's talk. What can $100 million
let's dig into that. Yeah, totally.
But like,
I know. And that's just like naturally where we go, and naturally the conversation we want to have. So like, hell yes, getting paid for it as well. All right. You and I could just riff all day and chat about this stuff, but thank you so much for coming on the show. Like, I told Roxy before we booked this, I just want my people to know you if they don't already know you. So thank you for coming and having this conversation. Where can people find you and connect to you to learn more?
So Instagram, you can come DM me, let me know about your manifestations at Roxy Talks. RoxyTalks.com is also my website, and I'm on YouTube. Spotify affirmations and meditations are on Spotify and iTunes, as well as YouTube. We have a podcast as well, the Roxy Talks Manifestation Podcast, and 360method.co if you're interested in really learning how to hone this conscious, it's like the conscious thoughts and the subconscious thoughts, because both of them are creating this swirl of reality that you're living in. So that's where you hone the power to control that so that you can really manifest. It doesn't matter, whatever you want, because at that point it's just about putting the content into the machine. We're here, and Emily and I have some fun stuff coming in the future. Very excited to connect with you.
We have some secret projects that we will reveal in due time. So I like looked you up on Spotify recently, and I was like, oh, like I think you have 2,500 followers, or I don't know what the number was, but I'm like, Jeff, look, Roxy's Spotify famous too. He's, oh, look at that. And she has a Christmas song too.
I know. It's so funny because I'm a musician as well.
It's like love affirmations, self-worth affirmations, all the stuff that have 40,000 plays, 30,000 plays, and then it's a Christmas song.
The reason why is because I made that song years and years ago, and I never really like fully released it on its own. And this last Christmas, my husband was like, just put it out. Just put it out right now. He like made me do it, and I was like, I'm just gonna put it on Roxy Talks, even though it's not super related. Yeah. But I also do make positive music, and so I have that coming. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pepper them. We're gonna throw a song on there, and also fucking do whatever you want, people. No rules.
Yeah, I actually feel like it's so on brand for you, so I love it.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. To everyone listening, thank you for tuning in, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. Changing the way that we think, feel, and talk about money is up-leveling the planet. I truly believe that. The ripple effect starts with you tuning in, and it spreads when you share this show on Instagram and Facebook. You can tag me at mmakesmoney. And you know what moves the needle the most? Taking just a minute to leave a 5-star review on iTunes. This show isn't free to produce, so let's multiply those dollars invested and help this show reach a bigger audience each week. So thank you in advance for your help. I really appreciate it. And until next time, I'm sending you all the magic money vibes on your joyous path to millions.